communicate with God through our prayers. So he discussed about the 5 essential keys in praying. Number 1, who to pray. So sa Ginoo kamo pray. What to pray, kung sa atong pangayoon sa Ginoo, kung sa atong mga petitions, no? Our concerns. When to pray. So kanu sa ata mo pray. So most pwede oras-oras ta mo pray sa Ginoo kung possible. Where to pray? So where to pray? Ang ingon na we find a place, we find a place na somewhere conducive bitaw in communicating with God and how to pray. So ang yang giingon ato na kuan, numdum mo kung saan mo to pray fervently, kung sa iyang giban to. And he also introduced us to another form of praying, ang vocal prayers o katong raising of hands. Ito ang iyang i-introduce ato. In the second talk, ako rang yung na-emphasize dito sa talk ni Kuya Rene, katong yung 2 greatest commandment, kung nangutanan ako sa greatest commandment of God, no? Number 1, love the Lord your God with all our heart, with all our mind, with all our soul, and with all our strength. And the second commandment, greatest commandment is love your neighbor as you love yourself. And he also discussed about God's love. God's love is beyond understanding, human understanding. Bisan og dili taangay nga kinigugmaon sa Ginoo, even if we do not deserve His love and mercy, He still loves us. So God's love is crazy love, crazy kind of love. Love beyond understanding. So let's proceed to our first talk tonight. Ang atong speakers nila kay daghan. Our speaker, the wife is working in a hospital as an admin officer. The husband is working as a business unit manager for a transport distribution company, one of the biggest there is Philippines. They have been with BCLP Mandawi for almost 9 years. They have 3 beautiful daughters. Kuya Sanates, please help me welcome to talk about the Christian family. Please give them a big round of applause. Kuya Joe and Ate Rose Sereno and their children, Alexi Rose, Ailey Jane, and Ashira Sophia.
Thank you, Kuya. Good evening. Bingo man, murag wa ka dinner. May gabi eh. Di they speak English. So, you don't have to be worried to be worried because our talk tonight, dali ra jud kay ni mahuman mga 15 minutes ra ni. Okay ra mo? 15 minutes and 1 hour. And then, you have to ask your action group leader kay after sa mong talk, sa discussion group leader kay after sa mong talk na din exam. So, walk up prepare. So, we will be talking about the Christian family. So, when we hear about Christian family, so many of us think of an ideal picture. Family praying together, no shouting, obedient children, loving spouses. But let's be honest, most Christian families do not live in picture frames. Tama ba? So we live in real homes with stress, misunderstandings, discipline issues, financial worries, and exhaustion. So today, we are not here to talk about the perfect Christian family. We are here to talk about a faithful one. So when we hear the word family, we often think of the people who loved us, care for us, and walk with us through life. But when we say Christian family, we are speaking of something even deeper. A home where God is at the center, where love is guided by faith, and where every member learns to live according to God's will. Good evening, everyone. In a world that is changing so fast, family face many challenges. Busy schedules, distractions, misunderstandings, and even broken relationships. So that is why it is more important than ever to return to God's design for the family. We will reflect on what makes a family truly Christian. So the role of each member, the challenges families face today, and how faith in God can keep a family strong, united, and full of love. May this topic inspire you to make your own family a living example of God's love in your homes and in our communities. The Christian family is not something people invented over time. Actually, it is God's idea from the very beginning. So in Genesis 2, God says, "It is not good for a man to be alone." From this, marriage was established as a loving partnership between a man and a woman. Jesus himself reminds us in Matthew, "They are no longer two, but one flesh." Therefore, let no one separate what God has joined. Marriage is sacred because God is the one who unites the couple. From this union flows the family, called to give life, nurture love, and form values. Simply put, the Christian family is sacred because it comes from God. It's sustained by His love and is meant to reflect Him in everyday life.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. John and I were into 7 years of relationship before tying the knot in 2004. Currently, we are already into 21 years of a married life. At this time, allow me to introduce to you the fruit of our love for 21 years, our Tres Marias. Alexi Rose, 20, Ailey Jane, 17 years old, and Ashira Sofia, 11 years old. So every time we encounter a couple before, those on their golden years, or even silver, or those even in 15 years or less, we always ask them the same questions. What is the secret? And almost all of them has a common answer, and that is prayer and commitment. Commitment to work on marriage, commitment to live out the vows we made before God. As scripture says, they are no longer two, but one flesh.
Yes. So it's really our habit. No, every time na makakita agimig mga minyo na dugay na sa marriage, we always ask, unsa may sekreto? So our 21 years of marriage have not been a walk in the park. We have faced misunderstandings, challenges, trials, but through prayer, patience, forgiveness, and trust in God, we learned that a strong marriage is built not on perfection, but on faithfulness.
The relationship between husband and wife. Ephesians 5:22, 25 and 28 about Christian household, it says, and I quote, "Wives, be subject to your husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, just as Christ is the head of the church, his body, and is himself its Savior. Just as the church is subject to Christ, so also wives ought to be in everything to their husbands. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. In the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself." This passage is often misunderstood. It is not about domination. It's about mutual self-surrender. Real love is not about control, who is right. It is about respect, listening, and choosing the good of the other. Before, Joe made most of the major decisions. He was controlling, and I had little say. Over time, we learned to grow. Now, decisions are discussed and made together. At home, we don't compete, but we complement. The task other didn't like at home, the other will assume. We did it for years without proper discussion. Who will work who? I don't like cooking. Makarelate mo. So Joe assumed the responsibility. During weekdays, he usually wake up at 2 a.m. to prepare the food for cooking. At 4 a.m., he will start preparing for breakfast while everyone is still in bed. Every time he is at home, no question, the kitchen is always his responsibility. Mas lami man daw ko timpla ang mga lalaki. Tinood? Yes! Cooking is one of the most difficult tasks at home. Karabi daw maghuna-huna ka unsay sudan, sulod adlaw, or unsay lutoon. Murag makarelate jud ang mga babae ani. So I hope no makarelate no. Going to the wet market is his weekly routine and making sure the ref will not get empty. So siguraduhon lang yun nga naay tubig ang ref. Ox na, di ba? So while I'll take charge of the laundry, other tasks at home, and the children's well-being and need. This is our way of expressing self-giving love.
Yes. So it's really biblical, no? Wives, be subject to your husband. Murag na yung maglalis uli ani. No? So, may I request every tanang husband, please stand up. Please stand up. Tanang husband. Ato ba ngayon yung wife? Ato ba nga? Ina wife? Repeat after me. Wife? Wife? Please? Do not control your husband. Ustos na. Wife? Please? Do not control your husband. Sige, sit down. O mga wife, bawas punta, bawas. Sige, barong mga wife. Barong mga wife. Na husband, please, do not control my parcels.
Lainan ni mo kayo, maninuod mangka.
Sit down. As a young couple before, we believe love was all about romance and big moments. At first, everything felt easy. No? Inana ginabag ang minyo. But as the years passed, real life showed up. Long work hours, misunderstanding, tired days, and responsibilities we didn't expect. Nang naguli ni mo na so taghanda pa sugason, kapoy na kayo. No? What kept us together wasn't who was in charge or who was right. So it was the moment we realized we are equal. Both learning, both failing, both growing. When one was exhausted, the other stepped in. When one felt discouraged, the other listened instead of judging. So when couples live this way, their marriage becomes a living witness of God's faithful love.
The Christian family is a formation zone. The family is not meant to impress people. It is meant to form people. At home, our children are being taught how to handle conflict, how to respond to correction, how to recover from failure, and how love behaves under pressure. Before our children meet the world, they meet us, parents. Values are first taught at home: respect, responsibility, discipline, and faith. If we want our children to be a better citizen, then let us form them at home. Parenting is not overnight task. It is a vocation. We also taught our children financial responsibility because financial literacy is rarely taught in school. Now, every penny that goes out from their pocket is a product of due diligence in spending. Christian family under pressure. Today, the Christian family is under pressure, real pressure. Christian family is challenged by the influences. One of them is secular humanism, a worldview that focuses only on this life and often removes God from the center of decision making. Secular culture teaches us to prioritize personal happiness, individual freedom, and self-definition. It says, follow your heart, create your own truth, and success is everything. It tells us the truth is relative, that personal happiness comes first and that success defines our worth. When this thinking enters the home, faith becomes optional, marriage becomes conditional, and children grow up without a clear moral anchor. But the family is also under pressure from economic realities, financial stress, career demands, migration for work, and the constant pursuit of security can slowly replace presence with provision. We work harder for our families, but sometimes we are less available to them. The danger is not only outside. The danger is when these pressures quietly reshape our priorities. Scriptures reminds us in Joshua 24, verse 15, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." That is the Christian response, not fear, not anger, but decision. We choose covenant over convenience. We choose presence over prestige. And we choose Christ over culture. The Christian family will not survive by accident. It survives by conviction. When Christ remains at the center, economic hardships cannot break it. The cultural confusion cannot redefine it. Because a home rooted in God is not easily shaken. And this is why the battle of Christian family is not theoretical. It is personal. It is not fought in debates or social media. It is fought in our living rooms, in our dining tables, in our daily choices.
Kuya Zanates, the world is harsh. The home must be strong. And let's be real. In outside world, our children will be scolded. Tama, dili? They will be criticized. They will be humiliated. They will be rejected. And of course, they will fail. We cannot protect them from all pain, but we can prepare them. At home, we are firm but compassionate. We correct without humiliating. We discipline while protecting dignity. We treat them as adults, not as children. They cry, but we let them understand why.
A Christian home teaches this truth. What happens to you does not define you, but who you are in God does. Our home must be the place where they are corrected without being crushed, disciplined without being shamed, loved even when they are disappointed. Discipline that builds, not destroys. Christian discipline is not about control. It is about formation. We avoid shaming, comparing, correcting in anger. And when we fail, we apologize to our children. We practice clear boundaries, calm correction, consequences with explanation.
Children who are disciplined with dignity develop inner strength, not fear. At home, we practice discipline not to control our children, but to help them grow in self-control and responsibility. We set clear rules on screen time, bedtime, schoolwork, prayer, and household chores. Gadgets are allowed only during weekends, school breaks, or free time, and always with time limits. We also check the games they play because not everything available today helps children grow in a healthy way. When it comes to food, we discourage junk and overly processed food. We want our children to learn early that caring for the body is also part of honoring God. At bedtime, when we say it is time to sleep, we expect obedience. We give reminders. First, a warning, then a final notice. If the rules are ignored, we turn off the internet and unplug the devices. Everything shuts down. We did this once, and our eldest cried because she was not able to save her work. It was painful, but it became a powerful lesson. After that, they knew we meant what we said. So discipline is not always comfortable. Correction can hurt. But as Proverbs 13 reminds us, those who love their children discipline them. Through discipline, children learn self-control, respect for limits, and the strength of face life's challenges. The world outside can be harsh, but when discipline is rooted in love, home becomes a place that prepares them, not breaks them. So if there is one area we feel we failed as a family, it is at teaching household chores early on, except for our youngest daughter, who was trained as early as 5 years old. We did not consistently form this habit in our older children. So inanaan kita sa balay, no? Ganang bata pa, ayun na patrabaho kay bata pa kay na. So makarelate mo, anak? Mao man ay words sa among sa akong parents, sa lulog lula. No, nagyaw na paggamay pa, ayaw patrabaho kay bata pa kay na. Karon idako na nagyaw-yaw na siya kay di mo trabaho. So, we are still coping and correcting this now. Parenting does not end, but it adjusts. Having our in-laws at home has been a blessing and a challenge. Their presence is a great help, especially with support and care. At the same time, there are moments when grandchildren are unintentionally spoiled. But disclaimer, of course, not all grandparents. This reminds us of an important truth. Forming children requires unity among adults at home. Discipline works best when love, consistently, and shared values guide everyone in the household. Even in our shortcomings, God continues to teach us that growth in the family is a journey, not a finished product.
Marriage is the first sermon children hear. Children don't listen first to what parents say about love. They watch how parents treat each other. So they learn from how we argue, how we forgive, how we speak when tired or upset, how we apologize. A Christian marriage is not one without conflict, but one that knows how to repair. We don't go to bed without settlement. No shouting, no flying saucers, no to physical harm. Joe never give a hand on me ever since, only a hug. Oh, di ba?
Faith that is lived and not just felt. Children may not remember long prayers, I tell you, but they will remember parents who prayed in difficult times. They will remember parents who trusted God when answers were unclear. They will remember parents who loved even when it was inconvenient. At first, we thought teaching faith meant giving instructions. Let us pray the rosary, go to church, attend mass, but our children didn't truly understand. Faith seemed like an obligation, so not an expression of love for God. So now we lead by example. They see us pray, attend BCLP activities, read the scriptures, do contemplative prayer, attend the Bible timeline studies, hearing the life of saints, their visions, and live out our faith. So everything starts with us as parents. So I would like to emphasize this one. Everything starts with us as parents. Our maturity in faith becomes a mirror our children follow. Faith formation is a process like tending a rose garden. It requires patience, daily care, and attention. Real faith is not only what we say in our lips, nor what we think in our mind, but how we love God in our heart, recognizing His blessings, guidance, and steadfast love even when we fall short.
The Christian family is a safe place. The world will judge our children. The world will label them. And the world will pressure them. Home must not be another battlefield. Our home is something the children say, I can rest here. I can fail here. I am still loved here. A resilient child is not one who never cries, but one who knows where to go after crying. When we say, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord, it must be visible in how we discipline, how we forgive, how we pray, and how we love. Because the true measure of Christian family is not what we declare, but what our children witness. And today, instead of only hearing from us parents, you will hear from the ones who experience our parenting every day, our children. They are the living testimony of whether faith at home is real, consistent, and alive. Let us listen to them. I will call my youngest daughter, Ashira Sophia.
Hello, titos and titas. Good evening. I am Ashira Sophia Sereno, 11 years old, currently a grade 5 student at St. Thomas Aquinas Montessori School in Lawaan, Talisay City. As the youngest in our family, I have learned a lot by watching and mirroring the people around me. My lola, my lolo, my older sisters, and most of all, my parents. They have been my pillars, guiding me and correcting me whenever anything is not right. From a young age, I was exposed to household responsibilities. I helped with washing the dishes, sweeping the floor, arranging my toys, and even cooking simple meals. I enjoy cooking a lot. It makes me feel connected to my parents and like a little helper in the house. And sometimes, when my parents are not around and no one will cook for us, then I take charge. I cook for me and my elder sisters. My faith journey also started early. When I was about 5 years old, my parents introduced me to BCLP activities. I would sit by the sidelines playing quietly while my parents attended sessions. I helped when I could, like distributing IDs or assisting during breakfast when they were the ones the breakfast had. Over time, I realized that attending Mass, praying, or joining BCLP activities was not just an obligation. I began to understand it was a way to love God and be part of a community that grows in faith. My parents taught me this by example, showing me how faith is lived, not just talked about. Every morning before going to school and work, we start our day with God through prayer, so He walks with us all day. Because of my parents, I have learned respect, kindness, and responsibility, and love for God. I am proud to say that if there is the youngest member of the BCBP during my time, then that would be me. Being part of a Christian family and a BCBP family has helped me shape who I am today. And yes, I really enjoy the little things too, like attending BCBP breakfast events. I always look forward to it because it is fun and also a chance to see my parents serve and live out their faith. Thank you, titos and titas, for letting me share a little about my life and what I have learned from my family.
1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 13 says, "And now these three remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love." This verse reflects the strength of a family. Faith, hope, and resilience help us overcome the challenges. But love is the bridge that creates an unbreakable bond. Good evening, titos and titas. I am Ailey Jane Y. Sereno, 16 years old, the middle child in our family, and currently a grade 11 ABM student at the University of San Jose Recoletos. Like my siblings, I enjoy drawing, playing online games, and cosplaying, activities that give me joy and help me relax after school. Growing up, I have always seen my parents as our guiding light. They support us not only by providing for our needs, but also by teaching us values that shape who we are today. Their example inspires me to work hard, pursue my dreams, and understand that success is earned through effort and determination, not shortcuts. Beyond these lessons, I felt their love through their constant encouragement. Good luck. Kaya ra na nimo. Their support for our hobbies, and much more. There I know that even when they might not fully understand our world, they still support our decisions as long as we are safe. I've realized that their guidance isn't about control, but about creating a safe space where we can explore the world while knowing we always have a home to return to. Their love has always become one of the reasons of my growing confidence, turning every negativity into a positive. This conditional love they give is not just an action of parents who provide, but parents who truly believe in their children. Being the middle child, I naturally try to protect my siblings and watch out for them. We may not always agree, I may not always show my love in obvious ways, but it is there, in care, guidance, and support. At home, life is not always perfect. We face disagreements and misunderstandings, but our family has taught us to resolve conflicts quickly. Problems are not left to linger. They are addressed with love, kindness, and respect. Saying sorry is never a sign of weakness. It is a choice to prioritize family over ego. One time, our family faced a difficult challenge. When mom and dad lost their business, they were jobless for almost 3 years. No source of income, but only through little sidelines. That was the most tough times of the family. Life became stressful, money was tight, and we all felt the pressure. But instead of blaming each other, we prayed together, supported one another, and stayed united. In those difficult times, my sister and I chose to give our savings to help with our tuition fees. It was our way of standing beside our parents and showing that their sacrifice did not go unnoticed. One night, when the power went out because we failed to pay the electricity bill, Dad lit a small candle and said, "This candle is like our faith. Even when everything is dark, a small light can guide us." That moment taught me that a Christian family isn't one without problems, but one that faces difficulties with love, patience, and trust in God. We siblings never complain, but instead deeply understand the situation, believing there is God. Kaya namon niya. My family is my greatest blessing. Through challenges, they have taught me to be a better person, to grow closer to God, and to support and inspire others. As Michael J. Fox once said, family is not an important thing, it's everything. Thank you, Titos and Titas, for letting me share a part of our life with you.
Thank you, Ailey. Now, according to Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, individuals as early as childhood are required to properly receive love, belonging, and support to successfully face self-actualization. So what is self-actualization? It is the process to become the best version of themselves. So these basic needs shape who we become. The beam light who supports the way you shine. People go through different journeys of self-actualization, guided by different pillars that mold them into who they are aspired to be. I too have my own journey, having not only a good source of support, but also an embodiment of what I may call a not so perfect but perfect Christian family. Good evening, titos and titas. It is such an honor to be speaking in front of you all today. I am Alexero Sereno. I am 20 years old and the eldest daughter in the family. I study at the University of San Jose Recoletos, currently a third-year student taking up a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. In my free time, I enjoy drawing, editing, playing online games with friends, especially after an exhausting week of unending schoolworks, reading webtoon, and last but not the least, cosplaying. Something I've always wanted to try and finally have the courage to do so. Now, in a family setting, just like any eldest daughters in a family, I am taught to become a role model for my siblings, who look up to me and observe almost, if not all, every bit of things I usually do. I may not be the perfect sibling, who is, but I know that the least that I could do is to try and show them the importance of teamwork, empathy, responsibility, and most importantly, faith. Whether it's helping with chores, offering advice, or simply being present, I strive to lead by example. However, a role model in the family does not grow as one alone. They too need inspiration. With that said, our greatest role models are our parents who continue to work hard for the family. I see my parents as hardworking, supportive, loving, and deeply rooted in faith. They continuously sacrifice their time, energy, and comfort so that we can grow not only academically, but also spiritually and emotionally. More than providing for our needs, they guide us with patience, understanding, and prayer. I felt this most deeply when they started lending an ear to what I have to say and proceeded to allow things I never thought I would have any opportunities of having or doing because of how distinctive it is compared to other hobbies and likes that most people have. There were slight judgments at first, like how they got second-hand embarrassments when I ought to cosplay during a movie premiere instead of casual clothes, or when I decided to try a new style that they find weird. But yeah, eventually, they'll get used to it, especially on my cosplay request, though PS, the expenses are all on me. Now, that instance showed me that their love isn't just a duty, but a reflection of the unconditional love of God. Furthermore, they remind us that success is not only measured by achievements, but by character, kindness, and faithfulness to God. They have taught us everything they know, from strategies on how to handle stressful situations to teaching us how to practice our faith by praying the rosary, thanking God all the time for every blessings we have received, repenting, attending Misa de Gallo, and many more. These actions have been practiced every day that eventually it became a tradition. A tradition that I would proudly carry with me forever. Nonetheless, as my parents have stated a while ago, a Christian family isn't as perfect as people expect it to be. It needs not just patience, but a deep, unwavering commitment to love, forgiveness, and understanding. There are moments of disagreements, misunderstandings, and struggles. But what keeps our family strong is our willingness to listen, pray, and grow together. Instead of allowing conflicts to divide us, we use them as opportunities to reflect, improve, and become better not only as individuals, but as a family rooted in Christ. Each plays a different role in the family, and as children, we also carry a significant responsibility within the heart of our home. In simple ways, by helping with chores, encouraging our siblings, listening to our parents, and praying together, we become active builders of a Christian-centered home. Our actions reflect the values our parents teach us, and through us, faith is lived out daily, not only spoken about. When children choose patience over anger, respect over pride, and love over selfishness, the family grows together in unity and in God. Being a child in a Christian family is not just about being guided, but about becoming someone who guides others through example. And through responsibility, faith, and love, this helps transform a house into a home that truly honors God. Thus, I can say, the pillars that support the process of my self-actualization revolve around this Christian family. And I am proud to share with you how much this family has supported me to become who I am today. Thank you, titos and titas, for letting me share a part of our journey as a Christian family.
As we are about to finish this talk about Christian family, we shared with you about discipline, faith, struggles, pressures, and even our imperfections as a family. The Christian family is not perfect. It is not free from conflict, economic pressure, nor free from cultural confusion. But it is rooted in something stronger than all of this: Jesus Christ. In a world that teaches comfort over sacrifice, convenience over commitment, the Christian family chooses differently. We choose to forgive. We choose to stay. We choose to pray. We choose to love even when it is difficult. The future of our society does not begin in politics, nor on economics, but it begins at home. If we want strong children, then we build strong marriages. If we want strong marriages, then we build strong faith. And if Christ remains at the center of our home, no pressure, no ideology, no hardships can destroy what God Himself has built. So as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Thank you, and may God bless every Christian family here tonight.
Thank you, Kuya Jo, and Ate Rose, and kids. It was amazing. Wow. Imagine kung saan sila in 10 years from now. Mga bata pa niya, may na kayo mo gusto mo sulti, no? So, to show our appreciation, can we ask Kuya Jo and Ate Rose and kids to come in front? We would like to present to you our token of our appreciation to be given by our PSD, Kuya Michael and Ate Ann. A big round of applause, please, for the family. Okay, pakpak na sa another round of applause. So, kaya sa natin, at this point, we will go into our group discussion, and we have our discussion starters in the screen. So, we'll give you 40 minutes